Hi everybody, welcome to this channel. My name is Angelica. It's really windy today, so I'm standing in a corner here, so I don't think you will hear me otherwise. So it's just a little reflection today. Reflection on what's happening at the farm, the stage of the season, and how that can be for other situations in life. You know, there was somebody mentioning that she liked how I view life, but that it's so sterile. The ground, everything looks so sterile right now. And that's how it is after winter here. Everything is like dead. And of course there are no perennials, so everything that's gonna grow, gonna have to be seeded and watered and taken care of before we can see any results. If they would have already have roots in the ground, as soon as the heat and sun came, they would show and things would look green as all the forest does. That's the difference between annual, when you grow something annual, like you have to seed and put it in the ground, the bare ground, and things that already have roots. You certainly miss a lot of growth capacity when you do annual vegetables. So buy time, and definitely if I would have a long-term place to be, which I only rent this for 1 year, I would put down a lot of perennials so that I could harvest for a longer time of the year. And sometimes right now it's pretty harsh, like the wind is pretty strong, and we have not had rain for maybe 4 or 5 weeks. There's a risk of drought in this region right now, in Sweden that is, which is very unusual at this time. But sometimes and this is the comparison of life, sometimes you're in the waiting zone. There are seasons for harvest and there are seasons for putting in the work. Like sometimes the reason why you keep on watering and you keep on seeding and you're keeping tend to the ground is that you know for sure, you're certain that if I do this work, you will get the result and you will be able to harvest by time. You just simply know that if you water something and if you take care of something, you will probably have a result. Of course, there can always happen things that you were not expected. And then it's a lot about being patient, to wait for things to grow. And this is definitely a time of the year where you just have to be patient. You just have to water. And for example, the carrots, you can't see anything, or the parsnips, or you water and you water and you water, and especially when it's dry, it takes time and everything looks bare, and you think if you wouldn't have had experience from before, you would have maybe a lot of people lose patience or lose hope at this time because you can't see any results. But by experience, I have a picture in my mind. I can see when it's really lush, I can see all the huge leaves of the carrots. I can see the big kale, red kale in front of me. I can see the flowers and the bees and the birds and the butterflies. I have this picture in my mind when I walk around here. That's what I see in front of me. I don't see the weeds. I don't see the bare ground. Am I realistic? Yeah, I just keep the vision in my mind. I keep the vision really strong, and I'm gonna make it happen. Like, that's what I do. I'm here, I'm making it happen. But I have to put in the work. I have to do it. I can't miss. I can't skip. I can't pretend that I don't have to put in the work. So I'm here every single day to water. And yeah, it's like I was also moving a lot of stuff, a whole truck of stuff, to a storage room, and my everything hurted in my body, like my shoulders and my arms and my like elbow and my back and my knees. Like I could really feel it. And then the next day I had to be here, and I was here 8 hours anyway, and I watered and I did heavy work with the soil, and I got burned from the sun. So I'm putting in a lot of effort right now, just to know that, you know, later on I would just harvest. But of course then there are seeds that grow really quick, and then there are seeds that takes time. So for example, if you put down a salad seed in a little pot and you water it, and doesn't require much heat, doesn't require many temperature hours, as you say in language of biology. That is like how many hours is by temperature. So there's an optimal temperature for everything, and it's really easy to grow salad. It like in the spring pops up after 3 days. Yeah, there it is, and then you know it's gonna grow. But then there are seeds that are a bit more, they need more care, they need take longer time, like they need to be watered every day for 3 weeks, and they might not show up anyway. And maybe you lose your patience, and maybe you think, oh, this is not for me. I'm not going to be patient. I'm not going to grow that kind of stuff. And then there are trees that you put down, and you might have to wait for years before you see the results. And then there are some seeds that have a really hard shell, and you think they're never gonna crack, but eventually they are cracking, and maybe also they need to experience sun and heat and then -degrees, and they have to have a shift, and they must before they crack and put the roots down, they need to feel secure enough that it's the right season for them. For example, like you can see the trees, they never put out the leaves before it has a certain temperature hours. They never freeze, like they almost never risk a climate that they can't handle. So the trees put out the leaves in order of and it always matches the temperature and the season perfectly. And it's like they sense things, like they know what they can handle, and they don't put the roots down before the circumstances are right for them, that they can handle. So that is the same for humans. Some people wait before, and to make really sure that the circumstances are right. Some things has to happen, some conditions has to be right, or they can't sprout, they can't show up or grow, because that's just how they are. That's just how they are constructed, so to speak. And some seeds, like a salad, and some humans, they sprout super easily. They don't have to, because they think they are more like, well, I fit in all climates. I grow fast, I flower fast, and I can grow in any soil, and I can withstand many things, but maybe then they die easily also. And yeah, so just like seeds, humans are different, and every seed and every human need to have different conditions to grow, and it's just nothing wrong with that. It's just how it is. It's just how we are constructed. And when we wait for things, like if you're a vegetable farmer, You want to have it all, right? You want to have all the variety around you. You need to be patient, and you can welcome some things quick, but you also appreciate the one that takes time, and you think it's worth. You do what you can, um, and put in the work, but you probably, what you choose as a farmer anyway, you pick things that you know for sure you will have a harvest from. So if it's like, if the risk is too high, or if the harvest is too uncertain, you won't probably do it. You will quit after some time and move on with the things that are more easily give a return, so to speak, because you need a return at some point also. So I guess it's not wise to be too patient with things. It depends on what you have already in your life. If you have an abundance of easy stuff, then you can afford some waiting game for the slow stuff. But you can't just go for slow things with very uncertain return. It's not very wise. You always start with a quick one, and then you move on to perennials and trees. But it's also pretty wise to plant trees early on, to let them grow on the side while you do the annuals, while you build up your farm, your garden, you get a return, but on the side the tree grows, and by the time you have it all. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. That was a little bit weird, was it? And oh my god, the kale. Poof, they're coming. But I water. They are established. New leaves are coming. Here are the old ones, that the new ones are coming. It will come. It starts. So I watered pretty much around here. And it doesn't look much at all, but it looks really sad. And the harsh wind and the sun really but the new ones are adapted to these sunny, windy conditions. They will be strong because they already withstand these conditions. And here are some Mizuna, purple Mizuna, like really spicy, mustardy, flavory leaves. Really nice. They become 40 centimeters, like really big. And someone thought this was my home garden, but this is my livelihood. This is what I live from. And so I grow vegetables and sell directly to customers. And the salads, this has been really windy, so it blew off, but it's coming also. These are sturdy leaves. It's coming on. They grow much faster when they get a big rain. And here a lot of weeds are coming, So yeah, look at that, how dry it is. There is the water. So as soon as the roots get, down here, they get a little bit of water, but And I expect the rain to come. My predictions say they come 2nd or 3rd of June, where I live. It's 18th of May now, so I think it's 2 weeks more before we have rain. And then I expect it to rain June and July, like 50, gonna be cloudy 50% of the days, and temperature 23, 24, I think. And now you see there's some corn. Yeah, it looks sandy. And I took my own seeds. Yeah, here. I think they germinate pretty bad, actually. So I'm gonna seed corn in a tray, and I'm gonna fill in the gaps. I'm putting them in 2 rows, about 15 centimeters apart, something like that. And potatoes are coming. I always get so happy about when the potatoes are coming. You can almost distinguish the rows. Here they come. I love to grow potatoes. I don't know why. It's maybe because when you harvest, they are so beautiful, and when you just harvest them and they are all clean and yellow, they're so pretty, and you can make so many things out of them, and people really appreciate them. So what I will do here in 2 weeks is that I will walk with a plow in between, and then I will shovel more soil on top of the bed. But yeah, finally something is alive. And I am also really proud of myself that the plastic blew off. It was super windy today. But I did all of this field into a potato field. So here are potatoes, and we have 8 blocks, 4 on this side and 4 behind me. So here's one, and then there is 1 block over there with kale, and then there is salad and beets and beans, and then come pumpkin, cucumber, zucchini. But this is 4 year between potato diseases. So I'm putting extra potato here. I borrow beds from the cucumber, and I will actually put pumpkins later when I harvest the potato. It's a little bit late with the potatoes. I saw they did it in the south of Sweden. Like they had 2 harvests. The first was potato, and then they fill up the whole field with pumpkins afterwards. If we have a long autumn with high temperatures, that will work. And maybe I can put some fiberglass in the end. I think I will try that. And the zucchini seeds I tried them, I will see. I watered like a lot. Yeah, still a bit moist. Yesterday was it? Yeah, I watered like half a liter in the hole yesterday. I hope there is hope for the zucchini. So I put the zucchini like 70, 80 centimeters apart. So now I'm almost done with the potato, and that's so heavy work. What I do is I use the broad fork, this one. And it's not that it was just soil. Here we had so many weeds. All of this I dug up by hand. So these roots, and now they're dry, but they're like nettles and a lot of dandelions. So each bed took me like half an hour just to weed before I could do the potato. And yeah, this looks sterile, but it will be all lush and green in 6 weeks. And this field, yeah, I'm a little bit lazy with not putting on the plastic in time here, but that's because I don't like the plastic so much. But I also don't like this grass growing there very much. So at some point I'm gonna do it. It's not the plastic in itself. Yeah, it's not the first time I complain, I'm sorry. But I take these bags and they are a bit broken also. That's what annoys me. So if I would have small, nice bags, I think I would do it more easily. But then you have to fill up those bags and that takes time. Onions need water. This plastic needs to be fixed. And here are parsnips growing. They need water today, I feel. And carrots. I hope. I gave them lots of water 2 days ago. Like, drenched them. But this is sandy soil. I am not so experienced with sandy soil. I think I'm gonna have to water so much more than I'm used to. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's I'm a bit skeptical. But let's try to envision some green stuff coming soon. At least one bed has sprouted. The radishes are coming and it's time to weed. It's perfect for weeding. But you see, the roots are pretty long on this svinmolla. So I guess I'm gonna have... I usually start my first harvest with the first radishes and then I should also have spinach and rucola or something. And if I don't have that, I can do microgreens. I usually have garlics as well. This is the older variety of this svinmolla. And I eat some of it. Yeah, it's really delicious. It's really nice. It tastes really nice. Look here. It's really tasty. Sometimes this happens in Sweden. This is the purple kale. And it survived the winter, like 5 of them, 6 of them. None of the green kale survived. And they immediately start to get flowers. I could take them up with the roots and put them somewhere in the end, give them a nice shower, let them go to bloom and make seeds and collect the seeds for next year. Then I have my own seeds of this one. Nothing else has flowered of kale nearby. So why not? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So there's a little bit of mix in the seed, like I take seeds from 6 plants just from one. And here, this violet is coming. Well, I was planning on moving them, dividing them, but here they are coming into bloom soon. Even with no water, they have long, big roots. Got a little visitor here. Well, when you lift the plastics, there are a lot of animals underneath. Like snakes and, not snake, kopparadla. Like it's actually a lizard but it looks like a snake. And some mouse. What do they call these tiny ones? And beetles, different beetles and worms. So they need some cover, you know. This has no life when it's like this. And what I want to do is I want to do in the ends, like I would like to have like here, have a meter or half a meter at least of some perennials at the end of the bed. We also make some habitat for them, like I can make pots, cracked pots, rocks where they can stay under. So there are some habitats for wild animals and that will benefit the ecosystem of the farm. And the water, there is some water there, but there could be even more. But at least that's something. And there is a huge pond in the end there. Yeah, and I watered the beans yesterday. I'm skeptical about the, the peas. Almost none of the peas have come, but the beans are coming here. Can you see? Yay! Way. But and what happened to me last year, I just remembered, is that I put down a lot of peas in the ground before they had not sprouted. I mean, just peas. And then the mouse came and had them all. And then we found a little storage of peas in a corner of the greenhouse. So somehow they had managed to go through the entire soil and dug up the peas and hide them somewhere. I don't know, maybe I'm accusing them. Here is something coming though. Something. And there is one more. Because what I did was I started to dig up from the places where I put them down, and I couldn't find the pea at all. Then I started to suspect there was someone who has eaten them. But well, I drenched this yesterday. I did. There's another one. So no, here they're coming. They just needed that sip. I talked to the plants and I was exhausted yesterday. Yeah, it was. And I was just about to go home. And of course, it's always okay to stop if you feel exhausted. And then I talking to myself and to spirits. And just like, okay, I understand that it's always okay to take a break, and anything you do in life is actually okay. To fail is okay, to start all over again is okay. There is nothing that's not okay. But and then I was like, but what will the consequences be? And then I heard like, well, all your peas and beans will die. It's like, I don't want that. Well, then you have to do you have to go 7 more times with the buckets if you want them to survive. I was like, really? Yeah. I was like, so I had to make a decision. Is my rest worth losing all of that? If I push my body, what happens then? Maybe what happened was that I burned. I knew I was burning on my shoulders, like I had been too many hours in the sun. and I didn't have any extra clothes, and I was like, well, so I did that. I pushed on, and today I've just rested. But my information today is that I have to water the parsnips strongly, or they will not survive, and I need to give them a 5 or 6 buckets. Yeah, that's it. Do you think I'm crazy? I don't mind anymore. This is how I am. The very unscientific farmer. No, I am a little bit scientific. I mix science and less science, experience, and listening. Yeah, that's how I am. Okay, thank you for watching. See you later. Bye bye. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Bye.